Good Saturday morning to you, friends. I want to keep this short. Like me, you probably have a lot of chores to do today. So we're talking about Jeremiah 13, verses 12 through the end of the chapter. In verse 15, we are reminded that one of Judah's great sins was her pride. She was just too proud to listen to the Lord. And Jeremiah expresses his deep sorrow over the pride of his people and the fate that awaits them in verse 17. In verse 18, when Jeremiah refers to the king and the queen mother who have lost their crowns, he's likely referring to Jehoiakim and his mother, who were both exiled to Babylon in 597 BC. You might want to see Jeremiah 22 and verse 26 and chapter 29 and verse 2 for cross-references. In chapter 13 and verse 26, Jeremiah speaks of Judah's shame when he says that God will lift her skirt. And that, friends, is a euphemism for sexual attack, both here and elsewhere in the Old Testament. And why has the Lord measured out this portion for Judah? Verse 25 gives us the answer: because they had forgotten the Lord and had trusted the lie. And perhaps the lie which they had trusted was that Baal worship and idolatry would bring them success and happiness. Now let's apply these verses to our own lives, and I hope that as you read these texts every day, you, like me, are looking into the mirror of your soul and asking, Lord, how might these words apply to my life? Again, this is not just an academic study. It's not merely an historical study. We're wanting God's Word to speak to our lives today. So how might this passage in chapter 13 apply to us? First, I would say that just as Judah's downfall began when they became too proud to listen to the Lord, so our pride can lead to our downfall. In whom are we trusting? Where is our pride? Like Paul, I hope it's in the cross of Jesus. I hope our pride is in our relationship with God, not in ourselves. But we ought to ask ourselves, hadn't we? Am I too proud to listen to the Lord? And then I wonder what the lie might be today in which we are tempted to trust. Are we tempted to trust the lie that the pursuit of money or the pursuit of pleasure or the pursuit of celebrity status might bring us happiness? I'm sure that's a great lie that a lot of people today have bought into. No, happiness comes from trusting in God and setting our hope in Him, right? Now for a preview of chapter 14, verse 1 through 15, verse 9. We've already read part of this today. And as you saw in the reading for today, we are entering into a series of laments in a time of national disaster. For example, today we read that severe drought had struck the nation. And the historical background of this section is likely the first Babylonian invasion of Judah in 597 BC, because it did result in severe destruction and partial exile. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today. Now to Saturday's chores, right? I'll see you soon.